So, morning everyone, welcome back to the channel. So as you can see behind me, Honda E, all electric, and let's take a look at some of the specs. So some of the specs is a WLTP range of between 130 and 137. It's likely to be more on the 100-mile range depending on how you drive. Has a capacity of a 35.5 kilowatt-hour battery and a 0 to 60 of roughly about 8.3 seconds. So we're going to take a look around the car, have a look inside. So in the Honda E, let's see what this thing can do. Let's take it for an initial drive. So certainly the car's got a really unique look, which first impressions actually I really like. The inside is, as you'd expect from a city car, it's small, it's quirky, it's really nice to drive. Brakes are fantastic. This is Honda's first production fully electric car, and I suppose the initial impressions when I first picked it up are really good looking car. What's interesting, I'm driving along and the Honda has got electronic mirrors, so both side mirrors and the rear view mirror are all screens. They're not actual mirrors. And actually I thought that was going to be a problem. Now if you've seen my review of the Audi e-tron, they weren't particularly great. They actually, the cameras actually stuck out a little bit, and the actual displays weren't particularly great. These are really good. They are so crystal clear. They're like having a mirror like you would normally, but the quality are fantastic. I didn't think I'd actually like them that much, but these are really good, and they're close enough that you're not kind of out your way to actually look at the cameras. So that's really good. What's really interesting, and what I wasn't, I suppose, prepared for, is the sheer size of the screen across the whole front of the dash. It's really clear, it's touchscreen, it's really responsive, and we'll run through what that looks like. At the moment, we're out for a little drive. It was on 98% battery when I picked it up, and it's staying approximately 92 or 93 odd miles. So that is in line with, I suppose, really what I was expecting. This is more of a city car. It's not made for long range. Would I like to have a 200-mile range in this sort of car? Absolutely. However, that's not what Honda built this for. Honda built this for city use. It's got a lot of punch, so let's just take it up a little bit. It's got the power when you need it. It feels smaller than the i3, which I think, you know, in terms of body is slightly smaller, but it's got that, what I really like actually, what I used to like about little minis and things like that back in the day, is that it feels like a little go-kart, and this is just a ton of fun. The whole sort of experience of this is pretty good. The drive quality, you're not feeling much bump in the road, so the comfort level in terms of where you're driving is really good. It's a nice space to be in. All the, you know, the dash is like kind of like this fake wood with obviously the big screen. You've got fake wood down in the center console, which again it looks great. The interior, actually, the design of this is really good. They you know, they've really thought about this as an electric car. One of my pet peeves on new electric cars are companies that don't go from the ground up for electric. They are adapting something that they're already producing, which I understand. However, if you want to make a truly great electric car, you need to make it from the ground up for that reason. And I think that's why this particular car works so well. Yes, it hasn't got the, you know, a 200, 300 mile range that some of the newer cars have got. However, it's a fun little car. This thing is a lot of fun to zip around in. Like I said, it's very much a town car. So let's get on to specs. Charging speed is up to 100 kilowatts, so that's pretty impressive considering the short amount of range that you have in the car, which means you're going to be back on the road very quickly. You're looking at probably 20 to 30 minutes in terms of the 80% as per most cars. So just cruising along at 28 in a 30 with that particularly crazy motorbike going way too fast. So Honda obviously have got a vast range of EVs planned that are all basically built on this platform, and it just makes perfect sense for companies to do that. Build a platform, build the various shapes of different types of cars on it. And this being the first one makes perfect sense. You're going to appeal to like inner city people and short distance. Now we all know that most people on average drive about 35 miles a day. So if you do that, and this has got a 100-mile range, then that's more than enough to go to work and back and maybe a few errands and charge at home. Now, would this work for me because I have no home charging? Probably not, because it's just about 20 or 30 miles short of what I would personally need. However, that's not to say that that's, you know, it's a particularly bad car. It just means that it doesn't suit my particular lifestyle. And this, to be honest, is for me a perfect city car. It does exactly what it says. It's a tight little nimble car. I'm going to take it on the motorway in a minute to see how that handles, but it's exactly what it sets out to be and nothing else, and that is a good thing. You know, this car does something really well in that it takes all those best bits that you want out of an electric car: the fun, the speed, the nimbleness, and it's a city car, so the city car will have a certain range. So if you're expecting the Honda E to have a 200-300 mile range just because it's a new car, then you'll be mistaken. Nor does it need to have that. This does what it does, and it does it extremely well. These mirrors just come into their own. I'd be looking way outside the car like to see what's coming. These you've got right down the side of your steering here, which is when you're going onto the motorway you're going to need, and you've got one over there actually, which is just at a glance, which is perfect. We're just cruising along about 68, and again, motorway handles really well. There's no issues with kind of, sometimes you get a bit of a wobble, but the good thing is that unlike my i3, it's using sort of wider tyres. The i3 uses very thin tyres, and at high speeds you do get a little bit of a wobble, a bit of a, you know, if you get a high wind it can blow around a little bit. This just feels so planted and so grounded. It's such a, I don't know, it's just such a pleasure to drive. Now I will note that in the car, much to some of my viewers that like, there are buttons. So yes, you've got a massive screen all the way across, which is phenomenal. But there's also physical, tangible buttons. So you've got buttons down here on the console for drive, park, reverse, and a handbrake button. And then you've got airflow and things like that down here. And that just works really well. It's not too much tech, but it's the right amount of tech. So the screens are brilliant. The quality and the resolution of the screens are fantastic. You can't fool this, honestly. You know, they're visible. We're going along. It's about 28-30 degrees. The sun is shining outside, and the screen isn't affected whatsoever. So here, obviously, we've got the charging flap on the front of the unit. It's opened by one of these, and we can see we have CCS and normal AC, up to 100 kilowatt charging. So as you can see, normal city car amount of space in the boot. Not too bad though, to be fair. I've got my bag, and you know, it's reasonably deep. These go down, so you can extend it back out. You've got split rear seats as well, so you can extend the amount of space you've got. You have the normal charging cables and things like that, and a little Honda bag in there. Let's have a look underneath. Yeah, more charging cables and stuff like that. So not much more than that, but enough space, I think. If again, this is based on a city car, so don't expect anything massive, but actually it's enough. So in terms of room in the back, not too bad, enough for 2 people. Decent amount of height as well. Yeah, so plenty of space in the back, really. Enough for 2 adults anyway. But what I will say is that, you know, even at decent speed, this still handles so well. It is just stable, as you'd hope. But for a small car, it handles the motorways really well. The other thing is that this car is a complete head turner. Now, anyone that watches my channel knows that I like things a little bit different. So the i3 I absolutely love, and the reason why I love that is that it looks so different to every other car. And the Honda E does the exact same thing. You're gonna get heads being turned with this car. It looks phenomenal. Like, you know, you see it in the pictures and you think, okay, I'm not sure. Me personally, I absolutely love the look. Steering wheel feels really nice. It's got all your controls on the steering as well, so you haven't got to reach anywhere particularly. But I didn't want to just take this round for the normal, let's just take the little car around the country lanes. I wanted to really experience this on a motorway and see really what it's like. And I can say it's a brilliant little car to drive. Okay, so we're going to take this through some little country lanes now that we've done some motorway drive. See how it handles. Now, I've just been around a roundabout, and the turning circle, like you see in other YouTube channels and programs, is phenomenal. And we got to a road closed, of course we have. So, well, I think it is anyway. So let's see how we get on. Unfortunately, the price might put some people off. Now, I believe this is between £26,000 and £29,000, depending on the kind of the spec and things like that you get. We're currently driving the lovely blue version, and there is various other colours. There's this really nice greeny yellow colour. Fantastic looking car. So the price might put a few people off, but actually, if you can afford it, and certainly if you're not bothered about, like, you know, long ranges or driving up and down the country in it, which is not something saying you can't. This is something, you know, with 100 kilowatt charging, you know, you could still reach like Manchester with you know, 1 or 2 stops. I hoped that it drove like a little tiny kind of go-kart, and it does. It's fantastic. It just feels like a fun little car. But like I said, the price for a car with this range may put people off. But I don't think it should. If it's something that you want, then I think you should go for it. I mean, this to me puts it in line with probably the new Mini Electric, and hopefully I'll be test driving that very soon. But it's that kind of car. It's the city car, the Mini, the little kind of commute car, perhaps, that this is ideal for. And it's just fun, you know. Can you put a price on fun? Well, apparently you can, but I would highly say that this is certainly on par with my BMW i3. I actually think it's more comfortable than my BMW i3. The seats are really nice. It's really comfortable in here. Just little things like the you know, the safety belts having just a sort of slightly different colour. Just like everything is coordinated really well in here from a design point of view. They've really thought about this inside and out. It'd be interesting to see if they do over-the-air updates. I believe they do on this, because you'd want this lovely screen to be kept as up to date and menus up to date as much as possible. So I hope that that's the case. Comments below if you know that is the case. That'd be great. So the other thing is quite cool. Obviously we've seen these wing mirrors. They don't stick out too much as what I thought they would for the cameras. So it doesn't look like they'll get damaged or knocked off like normal wing mirrors will. Also, these little handles, and just push in, pull out. So you look around the car, I just think it's got a phenomenal, and the general look of the car I think is just gorgeous. This blue colour really sets it off in the sun as well. So what I really like though is, you know, things like this. There's attention to detail and design around lights, and the rear end is just fantastic. Again, it's not your normal average little car, but they've really thought about the design both inside and out. It's absolutely phenomenal. Build quality is just brilliant. And the same at the front, same with the back. These fantastic lights, this really nice front, lack of grille, just this kind of perspex front with a charge flap on top, just gives it that kind of little front aggressive look, which I really love. But yeah, I mean, look at this thing, absolutely gorgeous. So the other thing I've just noticed as well is that it's got not necessarily pro pilot, but it's got obviously an awareness of your driving as well. I think I went around the corner and it couldn't quite detect some of the lines, and it helped out. It wasn't too obstructive that you know, it kind of threw you off, but it was enough to kind of say, oh, hold on a minute, you need to be slightly back on, like in between, you know, the white lines, you've slightly gone over, which I think was good. It was quite surprising. Again, it wasn't intrusive, you know, it didn't kind of baby you in terms of the driving, but it kind of helped you out and kind of nudged the steering wheel in the appropriate direction and gave you that feedback on the steering wheel that says, right, you need to be slightly, you know, slightly different. The other thing as well is that you've got on the steering wheel, you've got paddles to adjust the regen as well. Now that's not something that I'm used to. Usually on the i3, it's just regen is what it is, and it's really good. The regen on this is particularly good as well. You can obviously make it as much or as little as you want using the paddles. Again, nice little feature and within easy reach of the steering wheel. Other things to note as well, display in front of you is very clear, it's very big. The display on your speed and things like that is very clear. It's all very, you know, everything you need is there. You've got your music track list in front of you that you can select, and I presume this is configurable as well. You've got your percentage on your battery, currently running about 79% now. So again, efficiency wise, it hasn't done too badly, and I've done about 20 miles and it's only gone down from 98 to 84. So actually, efficiency wise, seems like the battery efficiency is pretty good. The other thing as well, it obviously gives you like the acceleration and braking and charging. So a nice little subtle bar on the right hand side of the screen, so that's good. And then obviously what particular mode you're in. So we're now going to put it in sport and see what the difference is. Let's just get around this corner. Oh yes. Wow. Sport really does mean sport in the Honda E. That is quick. It's not Tesla quick, but it's quick, and as you can see, puts a really good smile on my face. So we're now driving it in sport mode. I've been driving it in normal mode up until now, just to kind of get a feel for the car and things like that, but actually sport mode is a lot of fun. And again, it's as nimble, it softens things up a little bit, and it gives you that extra bit of punch. It takes what you would normally have and just makes it that really fun little, again, that little go-karty kind of feel to the car. Yeah, that instant sort of mode between this little button down here between normal and sport, and it softens things up a little bit and lets you go around these corners really well. I mean, that is a tight little car.
September we met, I could tell by your smile you hadn't been with a good girl like me in a while. Yeah, you were impressed, couldn't leave me alone. Text me every time that you pick up the phone.